ಅದು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಿ, ಏನೋ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಒಂದಿನೋ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರು ಭಯ ಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಅದವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಏಕೆ ಎನ್ನೇ ಬರೆಯಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ಹಾ,
Shall we start? Okay, shall we continue? Okay, we'll not continue. We'll just starting. Continue on the essence. Okay, so we'll start with today's. That means we'll start with the Hindu analysis of the date 13th of March. Okay, see, in this 13th of March, some 4 to 5 articles we are going to discuss, and the first article, which is very important, is from which page? Article page. In all pages, articles will be there. Which article is very important? If you are having paper, you just see. Do we have any important editorial? Do you think so? Any article which is very much relevant for mains point of view or prelims point of view? The first article which we are going to explain is about Geneva Convention. Any idea you people are having regarding Geneva Convention? Geneva Convention, first of all, conventions okay, many conventions are there, but specifically today we'll be actually talking about Geneva Convention. ఏంటి discuss ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದ್ದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ? Admit. Okay. See, what is the reason behind discussing Geneva Convention now? Why it is in news, Geneva Convention? Any idea you people are having? Definitely, we know that the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, that is the reason this kind of Geneva Convention is there in the news. And any idea what is Geneva Convention?
It talks about how the soldiers will be treated as civilians.
Exactly, good. Yes, see, Geneva Convention actually talks about. They have certain rules. Getting certain protocols are there, certain rules are there. Okay, see, these kind of conventions comes into picture whenever there is conflict. Okay, this kind of convention comes into picture whenever there is any kind of conflict between two countries. Okay, it is an international convention, Geneva Convention. I'm not dictating, I'm just actually आप लोगों को समझा रहा हूँ. Okay, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಎಂತಕ್ರಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ? ಬಿ ಕಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. Okay. Okay, comfortable. Okay, now you tell me why Geneva Convention is there. One person has given the right kind of answer. Mute, just mute. Okay, you tell me why Geneva Convention is there. See, whenever there is some kind of war between two countries for humanitarian assistance, okay, even for soldiers, for civilian purpose, this kind of Geneva Convention is there. Adರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಪ್ರೋಟೋಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, ಹೇಗೆ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Okay, that is the reason Geneva Convention is coming to picture. But now, do you think that some kind of violation Russia has committed when it comes to Geneva Convention? Do you think that ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ರಷ್ಯಾ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್, when it specifically Geneva Convention ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? Definitely. Okay, they have actually crossed the limits and they have committed some kind of violences. Okay, but Geneva Convention actually does not accept such kind of violences. But many countries are signatory to this convention, including Russia was also signatory for Geneva Convention. But what happened is Russia was knowing that in near future some kind of what is going to happen. Russia was knowing in near future some kind of war is going to happen between Russia and Ukraine. That is the reason from 2009 they have actually withdrawn their support for Geneva Convention. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು 2020-21 ಅರೌಂಡ್ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಯುಕ್ರೇನ್ ಇನ್ವೇಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ 2019ಕ್ಕೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವಿಡ್ರಾನ್ ದೇರ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಜಿನೆವಾ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಿನೆವಾ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಟರಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಏನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನಿಂಗ್ ನಾವು ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವಿಡ್ರಾನ್ ಯುಕ್ರೇನ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ ನಾಟ್ ಯುಕ್ರೇನ್, ರಷ್ಯಾ ವೈ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾನ್. ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಎಂತಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Why they have withdrawn Russia? You tell me. Getting? That's the reason they have withdrawn. Write some points. Geneva Convention. You take the heading Geneva Convention and Russia-Ukraine war. Geneva Convention and Russia-Ukraine war. Okay. Write some points. This article speaks about Russia-Ukraine relation. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಗ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. This article speaks about Russia-Ukraine relation. Second point, it speaks about international order. Third point, it speaks about violence committed by Russia. It speaks about violence committed by Russia. Next one, it speaks about sanctions imposed by the Western countries. It speaks about sanctions imposed by the Western countries. See, all these are nothing but geopolitical ramifications. Andre, all what political scenario, what war is going on, we will call it as geopolitical ramifications. In the words alla baribeku exam alli. Okay, and next you write, when it comes to Geneva Convention, it is nothing but it is an international convention. When it comes to Geneva Convention, just give me 1 minute time. Where were we? When it comes to Geneva Convention, it talks about international convention, which deals with war ethics. Which deals with war ethics. See, next line, right? This Geneva Convention is in news because why in news? You write like this. Why in news? So you can take this Geneva Convention is in news because whenever there is war between different countries, first point, whenever there is war between different countries. Second, whenever civilians are involved in this war, whenever civilians are involved, because very important, whenever civil infrastructures are involved, whenever civil infrastructures are involved, whenever civil infrastructures are involved, okay, this kind of conventions comes into picture. And this convention is nothing but it is a set of 4 treaties. That means Geneva Convention is a set of 4 treaties and additional protocols and additional 3 protocols and additional 3 protocols and additional 3 protocols. Here it is there. And additional 3 protocols which codify widely accepted ethical and legal international standards for humanitarian treatment, which codify widely accepted ethical and legal international standards for humanitarian treatment of those impacted by war, okay, of those impacted by war. Actually, have you actually opened in your mobiles? Have you opened? Okay, you can just see the paper. I'm just showing the paper there. Okay, the part which we are explaining, I'm just actually highlighting on the paper. First, after actually discussing that we have 4 treaties and additional 3 protocols, the author explains about first convention, second convention, third convention, fourth convention, as well as the 3 protocols. Okay, the first protocol 1977, the second protocol also was from 1977, but the third protocol was from 2005 around. Okay, those things the author is explaining, which is very important. The key points we will actually discuss here. Okay, first let us take up the first one. You write it as first protocol. I'm sorry, not protocol, first convention. There are 4 convention and 3 protocols. First convention you write down. The first convention speaks about the protection of wounded and sick soldiers. The first convention speaks about the protection of wounded as well as sick soldiers on land during war. The second protocol speaks about protection of wounded. Second protocol speaks about the protection of wounded, sick, and shipwrecked military personnels. SHIP, shipwrecked, WRECKED, shipwrecked military personnels at sea. And it also speaks about sea, the personnel who are affected in sea as well as land. The third one, protection of prisoners of war. Protection of prisoners of war. And the fourth one, it talks about protection of civilians. Okay, it talks about the protection of civilians, the fourth convention. Okay, these are the four convention. The first one is it talks about protection of wounded soldiers on land. Second is the same thing but on sea. And the third is protection of prisoners of war. And the fourth is protection of civilians. Okay, because civilian, the word is very important. Civilians and the Bandaglane Geneva Convention picture. Getting, we have three protocols. You write the three protocols. The first protocol was from 1977. It talks about protection of victims of international armed conflict. 77. The first protocol came into picture from 1977. It talks about protection of victims of international armed conflict. Victims of international armed conflict. Second, victims of international armed conflict under who? Civilians only. Okay, whoever it might be. Okay, the second one, it talks about the second one. The second protocol is also 1977. It talks about the same thing, protection of victims of non-international armed conflict. Non-international armed conflict. Not only armed, it is also non-international armed. The third protocol talks about adoption of an additional distinctive emblem of red crystal. I'll tell what is this. Adoption of an additional distinctive emblem of red crystal in addition to Red Cross and Red Crescent. In addition to Red Cross and Red Crescent. Okay, see these bodies are there, no? Red Cross, Red Crescent and all these bodies actually take up a humanitarian assistance whenever there is some kind of war. Okay, see, symbols are there. Okay, like plus symbol, C symbol, and like diagonal symbols are there. No, if that kind of symbol, if some persons or if some personals are wearing, if for example uniform shirt hakonತಾರೆ, shirt ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ತರ symbol ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ plus ಒಂಥರ ಚಂದ್ರನ್ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂಥರ ಡಯಾಗ್ನಲ್ ಟೈಪ್, ಆ ತರದೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯವರು ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕಮ್. ದಟ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಫೈಟ್. Okay, if there is war going on between two countries, ಅವ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Any country, both countries should not actually target such persons, because such persons are some kind of like doctors ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್, ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. So it is a convention that you should not actually target such persons. Okay, write down that symbols I told, no, plus like C and the diagonal. Okay, in paper I'll write that symbols, you just see like this, plus like C, like this diagonal symbol is there, no, this kind of symbol. If the personals are actually wearing this kind of symbols on their cloth, you should not actually target such personals. Okay, these peoples are working for humanitarian assistance. They're not getting. Okay, we're not getting no. Next you write, next point, Russia in 2019 withdrawn from Geneva Convention. Why it has withdrawn already I have explained for you people. Enthukku withdraw ಮಾಡಿರೋದು? You tell me. In 2019 Russia withdrawn from Geneva Convention. Why they have withdrawn? Please tell me. ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ತಾನೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಹೇಳಿ. They are actually knowing that some kind of conflict is going to, that means they were knowing that we will invade Ukraine. Okay, that is the reason they have withdrawn. Okay, so why the author is actually giving that point here? Russia has withdrawn 2019 ಅಂತ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ author? Because ಇವಾಗ ಅವರು ರಷ್ಯಾದವರು ವೈಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಸರಿನಾ ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಸರಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂತ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇವಾಗ? ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಟು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ದ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಜೆನೆವಾ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಜೆನೆವಾ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಟರೀಸ್ ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ನೋ, the next one you write, it is the international criminal court that has jurisdiction when it comes to, it is the international criminal court, it is the international criminal court that has jurisdiction when it comes to war crimes, when it comes to war crimes. And these war crimes are nothing but when it comes to war crimes, I'll repeat it again. It is the International Criminal Court that has jurisdiction when it comes to war crimes. And these war crimes are nothing but they're grave breaches of Geneva Convention. And these war crimes are nothing but they are grave breaches of the Geneva Convention. Of the Geneva Convention. They're grave breaches of the Geneva Convention. Okay, and the points which I am dictating, I will highlight in the article. You just see. Okay, this is what we are discussing here. Okay. Okay, that completes the discussion of the first article, and I want you people to actually summarize this article. Okay, please summarize the last person. Please summarize in 1 minute. ಜ್ವರ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು.
ರಷ್ಯಾ ಉಕ್ರೇನ್ ಸಂಘರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೌತ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಏನಿದಾವಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಮುಂದುವರೆದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾರಂತ.
You tell me. ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. Summarize this article completely. Just in 1 minute.
Geneva Convention ಬಂದು ರಷ್ಯಾದವರು ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಉಕ್ರೇನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವಾರ್ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
4 ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಏನು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಅಂಡ್
ಯೆಸ್
ಸಿಕ್ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ಸ್.
ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್
ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇದು ಅಂಡರ್ ಶೀಪ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ waterways. Third
protection. Third one ಬಂದು prisoner of war.
Fourth, how many protocols are there?
3 protocols.
Okay, let's continue. Second article you write down. Village along China border to open for tourist or tourism. I'll repeat it again. Villages along China border to open for tourism. To open for tourism. So what can you understand? ಈ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ? ಏನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಆಥರ್? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ವಿಚಾರ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಚೈನಾ ಟೂರಿಸಂ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಚೈನಾದವರು? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಏನ್ರಿ ಅದು? ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ? ವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ಚೈನಾ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ಟೂರಿಸಂ. ಅದೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಟೂರಿಸಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಚೈನಾ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾಗೇನ್ರಿ? See this article, why the author has written this article is a new concept the union government is bringing. Okay, in this budget they have actually discussed that program, vibrant village program anta. Smart cities ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು? ಆ ತರನೇ ಇದು ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ನೋ 2022-23 ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ they have given that program. Why they have actually brought that program ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಂಡ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, see there are actually certain disputes going on between India and China. Border disputes ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಇದೆ. ಯಾವ ತರ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದೆ? any idea you people are having? Yeah, India and China, what kind of border disputes are going on? There are clashes or not? Yes, there are clashes. Any examples? Northeastern state ಅಲ್ಲಿ clashes ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ you can actually observe many people from northeast are coming for other cities. Why they are coming for other cities? Are you not observing? Many people from northeast, they are actually migrating to other regions. Why? What may be the reason? ಅಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಭಯ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಎಂತಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದೇ ತರ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಗುಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ this project is brought by union government, vibrant village project anta. But sir, okay, idikkidange idine enta kelta iddira andre what China peoples are doing, no, they are actually giving economic assistance for the persons who stays in that border conflicted area. India China border conflicted area idella, adralli the regions, the peoples who are staying alla there, for them they are pushing, who Chinese peoples are pushing. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಲೊಕ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅವರು ಕುರಿ ಕಾಯೋರು ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾರೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್. ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರೌಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಚೈನಾ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕ್ರೌಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಆಳಂಗಲ್ವೇನ್ರಿ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಆಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಚೈನಾ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಲಿಟರಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೈಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟೀಸ್ ತೋರ್ಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಅವ್ರದ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಆಗಲ್ವೋ. Okay, that is the reason. Ali, they want to actually increase the density of people related to China. That is the reason in broader area they are actually filling the people by giving economic incentives and all. They are filling the people. Okay, even they are calling far off people to stay there, getting benefits ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗ ಅದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್, ಅದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ವೇನ್ರಿ? ಅವ್ರು ತಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವ್ ಯಾರು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಂತಕ್ಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಚೈನೀಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್, ಅಲ್ವಾ? ತುಂಬಾ ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಒಂದೇ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇದ್ರೇನೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೆ ಅಲ್ವೇನ್ರಿ? ಆ ತರದಿಲ್ವಾ? 10 ವರ್ಷದ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದ್ ಮನೇಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಬಾಡಿಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮನೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆರ್ ಯು ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ರೌಡ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಟು ಕೌಂಟರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಚೈನೀಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ this kind of concept of vibrant village program. See, many kind of features are there. Vibrant, see this itarad keltar questions exam alli. Vibrant, discuss the some features about vibrant village program and also give your inputs anta kelbirtare exam alli. Itarad questions kelodu heading. So Indian government ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they are actually many projects they are opening. Okay, many projects they are opening in these areas. But the point of concern what the author is actually telling is what happened. But the point of concern what the author is actually telling here is this is a reactive strategy from Indian side. It should be a proactive strategy. ಈಗ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರೋ ಕಪಾಳ ಕೊಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನೋ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟಿವ್. ಅವನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಕಪಾಳ ಕೊಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರೊಯಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ಲಿ. ನಾನು ಏಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ತಲೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಹೊರತು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರಿವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ಯೂರ್ ತರ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಚೈನಾದವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೀಕ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಹೇಗೆ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್ಲಿ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಕೆ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಪುಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ನಮ್ ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಗವರ್ನರಿಂಗ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಳಜಿ ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಳಜಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೊಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಆಗೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಇವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆತರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ India should actually have a progressive strategy instead of reactive strategy. But this is a reactive strategy. Vibrant village programs. Okay, ಇತರ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಇದೆ. Why this kind of problem is emerging? Regionalism. Are you not getting? In politics, I have not seen regionalism favoring their own region. Okay, the peoples in parliament ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they want to actually give assistance for their own states. Okay, I don't want to give example. They are favoring their own states. Our state na rich ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅವರು ಬಡವರಾಗಿ ಬಿಡಲ್ವಾ? There should be an actually equal development of all states ಅಲ್ಲ. But what they will do is our region represent ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ they will actually promote their own regional interest. ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Right from 1980s, this kind of regionalism is increasing, favorism of their own. That is the reason ಕೆಲವು ಏರಿಯಾ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ತರ ವೀಕ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ವೀಕ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಕಾಳು ಬೇಯಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಚೈನಾ ಇಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್. ರೈಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. The union government plans to open villages along. The union government plans to open villages along. So this is the article you can see in the app, or the people who are online, they can see it. This is the article we are discussing. The union government plans to open villages along Chinese border for tourist under vibrant village program. Under vibrant village program announced in union budget 2022-2023. You write a heading as vibrant village program, small heading, vibrant village program. Specifically, this kind of vibrant village program is related to northeastern parts. Specifically, this kind of vibrant village program is related to northeastern parts, development of northeastern parts. Again, next point. Right from 2017, we can observe a large-scale construction activity. Right from the year 2017, we can observe large-scale construction activity along the border with India. The border with India. Who is constructing such kind of large-scale activity? Vibrant or construct ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ?
China.
Right from 2017, right from the year 2017, there is large-scale construction activity going on along the border of India. And who is doing that? China, to increase their infrastructure. Next, China wants to actually strengthen their presence in this area. China actually wants to strengthen their presence in these areas by constructing infrastructure like villages. By constructing infrastructures like villages, dual use airports. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಇದು ಏನು dual use ಅಂತ. So what is the meaning of dual use airports ಅಂದ್ರೆ, say many times this kind of ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ many times ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ nowadays. Is it possible to do war directly nowadays? No. So what they will do is indirect ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋದು. Getting? So what they will do is ಬೇರೆ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡೋದು. For example, that is what is known as dual use airport ಅಂತ. See, the airport is constructed for civilian purpose. ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೈನಾ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಎಂತಕ್ಕೆ? ಸಿವಿಲಿಯನ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್? ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಟೂ ಪರ್ಪಸ್. ಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒನ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಸಿವಿಲಿಯನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್. Defense purpose, the first is civilian purpose. Okay. Next point, they are also constructing railways, roads. They are also constructing railways, roads in this region. They are also constructing railways, roads in this region. Which is that region? LAC. They are also constructing railways, roads in these regions. Okay. Line of actual control ಅಂದ್ರೆ region ಹೇಳೋದು. LAC ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದೇನು? Line of actual control. LOC ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Line of control. LAC ಅಂದ್ರೆ line of actual control. Okay, write down. Next point. China is also providing economic incentives for the peoples of China who want to relocate to this area. China is also providing economic incentives. China is also providing economic incentives for the people who want to relocate to this area. For the Chinese people who want to relocate to this area. For example, the people who want to relocate from Tibet and all, no, for them they are providing. Nomads are dispatched with their herds. Nomads are dispatched with their herds. Nomads are dispatched with their herds of goat, with their herds of goat, sheep and yak, vayeke and yak. Nomads are dispatched with their herds of goat, sheep and yak to settle near borders. To settle near borders. To settle near borders. Next point. China have also increased tourism project in these areas. China have also increased the tourism project in these areas. Next, Indian scenario. And the Indian government, what Indian government is doing to counter this one? That is what is known as Indian scenario. Next point. Indian scenario, small heading. So in Indian scenario, we can observe, see China, what they are doing, actually they are bringing the peoples to this area. But Indian scenario, peoples are moving, running out of this area. Why?
Lack of facilities.
Facility. Okay, that is the reason people are actually moving from border areas and they are coming into mainstream land. Andre mainstream land aduno, but ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ, ಮುಂಬೈಗೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಜನ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅಲ್ವೇನ್ರಿ, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದೇ ತರ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ. ಇವತ್ತೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಚ್ಚುಮನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸಿ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ವಾಚ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು, ದುಡ್ಡಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ, ಓಕೆ, ಆ ವಾಚ್ ನೀವು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗೋದು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ? ದುಡ್ಡಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ, ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್. ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಸೊ ಟುಡೇ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ತುಂಬಾ ಸುಲಭ ಇದೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಟುಡೇ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಲೀಡ್ ಎ ಲೈಫ್ ವಿತ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೀಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್. India is observing out migration. India is observing out migration. Peoples are leaving border areas and coming to other areas where they have good facilities. Peoples are leaving border areas and coming to areas where they have good facilities. ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಗುಡ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಗುಡ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರೋ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಕಾಶಿ. ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್. ಉತ್ತರ ಕಾಶಿ. ಚಮೋಲಿ, CHAMOLI, ಚಮೋಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅನದರ್ ಒನ್ ಪಿಥೋರಾಗ್ರ, PITHORAGARH. Okay, see, this is just an example. See, in this example, no more than 150 villages are there. From these districts or from these places, the peoples are coming out. That means out migration is happening. These areas are nothing but these areas are bordering Tibet. Getting? Okay, this is Indian scenario, but Chinese scenario, ulta. They are providing it. That is the reason this kind of scheme is put in the union budget this time. And conclusion, you have to write your own conclusion, because already I have told the conclusion. Nimma words al baribeku. Your own andre whatever I have told, you have to write in your own words. What is the conclusion? Please ಹೇಳ್ರಿ ಬೇಗ. ಏನ್ರಿ conclusion? ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದ conclusion. ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ they are actually brought, but what is the conclusion? Yes, India has to actually have some kind of proactive strategy rather than reactive strategy. Okay, that should be your conclusion. Very in more notes ali. India should actually have a proactive strategy instead of having a reactive strategy. Okay. See, I will just tell I don't want to dictate that, just listen. I want to tell some of the features of Vibrant Village program. Okay, 3 features are their main features. Just listen. General features. The first is road connectivity ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ government of India, and they are actually planning to actually construct good bridges, because northeastern parts terrain ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, bridges construct ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, and they're actually planning to have better number of schools, high quality schools, hospitals, wellness center. What is wellness center? Only health wellness center andre overall development wellness center. Okay, mainly health. The next is water and sanitary facility, and the last one is telecommunication and telecom connectivity. These are some of the key features of this program, Vibrant Village program. I'll repeat it again. The first is addressing road connectivity, bridges. Second is like schools, housing, schools, health, wellness center, water and sanitary facility, and the third is television and telecom connectivity. Okay, so let's move on to the third article. The third article, see, these were 2 main articles of today, and the questions will be from these 2 articles only. Now let us move on to some of the minor articles of today. The third article is children's more unlikely to produce antibiotics. That is the article. Entike nimge ಏನು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ author? The heading is children more unlikely to produce antibiotics. Definitely the author is talking about COVID only. Okay, why do you think that the children are very much they are not producing antibiotic? Do you think that vaccine ge antibiotic produce ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ children's ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಸಿ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ಸ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಆಂಟಿವೈರಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ವೈರಸ್, ಇದು ಕೋವಿಡ್, ಅದು ಆ ಪೇಜ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಂತೆ. ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಗ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಅದು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ಗೆ ಬೇಗ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. That is the reason children are actually producing less antibiotics to COVID vaccine. A general term, a general article what they have discussed. Okay, right on first point. This is related to GS Science and Technology topic. GS paper 3 Science and Technology topic. Recently, an experiment has been conducted in which 108 participants have taken. Recently, an experiment was conducted in which they have taken 108 participants. In these 108 participants, there were 57 children and 51 adults. In these 108 participants, there were 57 children and 51 adults. And this population, what they have taken, no, they are somewhat asymptomatic or mild symptoms were there. All 108 participants, what they have taken, no, all people were having some kind of asymptomatic, they were asymptomatic or they were having some kind of mild symptoms. And the experiment resulted in, that means COVID vaccine kottaga, that experiment resulted in SARS-CoV-2 infection. Vaccine kottaga, and the experiment resulted in higher proportion of children did not produce, and the experiment resulted in higher proportion of children did not produce antibiotics. I'm sorry, not antibiotics, antibodies, did not produce antibodies in response to SARS, SARS CoV-2, CoV-2 infection, did not produce antibodies in response to SARS CoV-2 infection. Okay, that's it. No major things there. Okay, I wish I to stay, but somewhat relevant. That is the reason I have discussed. The next is you write down the flight of blooms. The heading is the flight of blooms. FLIGHT, flight of blooms. Not brooms, 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 the flight of brooms, the name of the, tell me. Yes, you can. Questions ತಗೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ. We have discussed that questions. You can stay for 5 minutes now, I will complete. Want to go? Okay, you can leave. Next article, the flight of brooms, BROOMS. See, this is very general article. See, brooms are nothing but, see, these are kind of plants which are actually abundantly grown nowadays in the state of Assam. Brooms, okay. Idenandre but idu ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ important. That is the reason I have taken this article. See, brooms andre eno, these are some kind of plants which are abundantly grown in Assam, and the communities which grow are Tiva. Tiva is one community which is actually popular in growing this kind of plants. Assam alli. Karbi is one such community. Khasi community, very important. Khasi community. Okay, these community barkoldri. Tiva, TIWA, Tiva, Karbi, and Khasi community. Okay, these three communities are very important, and these communities are actually famous in actually growing this kind of broom grass, BROOMS, broom grass. Okay, why the article is there in the news is because these actually growing this kind of plants give more money. Okay, they actually require small finances to grow this kind of plants. They require small finance, and good returns will be ensured. Good returns adre enagute, it will actually give some kind of incentive for the women also there. Are you not getting? Assam development agta ide. Okay, so it requires small finance. It can be grown in marshal and wasteland as well. It can be grown in marshal and wasteland. It can be grown in marshal and wasteland. Okay, see in the, if you have opened the app, you can see how they are growing there. Okay, it can be grown on marshal and wasteland, as well as in Jum follow land, JHUM, as well as in Jum follow lands. It can also be grown well on wide range of soils. It can also be grown well on wide range of soils. Nowadays, it is becoming very popular in Assam. And what is the significance of growing this kind of plant, broom grass? What is the significance? Bulk grow marta idare Assam alli. ಏನು significance andre? The first, it will generate employment. It will generate employment. The second is, it will actually enhance rural income, generation of employment. It will enhance rural income. It will actually give some kind of empowerment, woman empowerment. It will actually promote. Entakri ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ women's employ ಆಗ್ತಾರಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Getting? And the fourth is, it will actually prevent landslides. Very important. It will prevent landslides. Okay, these were the articles which were very important, which we have discussed. And now let us actually go into the front page and let's see what some important details are there or not. See, one article is there from the front page. Already this was the news. See, Pak seeks a joint probe into missile incident. Okay, just a news type of article. Pak seeks joint probe into missile incidents. What is this? In India?
India mistakenly fired.
Yes, very important. Very good. India. What's happening? Off madi, mute madi. Voice ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, India. From Indian side, no, mistakenly the missile went into Pakistan area. Okay, and Pakistan is actually, they want an inquiry regarding this. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾವ್ರೆ ಅದ್ ಹೇಗಪ್ಪ ಬಿಟ್ರಿ ಮಿಸೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾವ್ರೆ. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ತಂತ್ರನೋ ಕುತಂತ್ರನೋ ಏನೋ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತವ್ರೆ. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪ್ರೋಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಮವರೇ ಪ್ರೋಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ಯಾತಕ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರೇನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮವರೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೋತ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿ ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್? ಹಾಗೆ ಅಲ್ವೇನ್ರಿ? ನಮಗ್ ಆಗದಿದ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ, ಏನೋ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. Are you getting? Just a news. And we'll wind up this session. And before winding up, I want to give 2 questions. See, okay. Write down the first question. Question number 1. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಹೌದು. ಓಕೆ. ಅಂತ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಮಿಸೈಲ್, ಅಂತ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಅಂತ. ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಹತ್ರ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋರು. Getting? And you write first question. What do you understand by Geneva Convention? What do you understand by Geneva Convention? How helpful this convention is there? How helpful this convention? How helpful this convention when it comes to? How helpful is this convention when it comes to Russia-Ukraine conflict? How helpful is this convention when it comes to Russia-Ukraine conflict? 10 marks, 150 words. 10 marks, 150 words. Right. Question number 2. What is Vibrant Village Program? What is Vibrant Village Program? What is Vibrant Village Program? Suggest measures. Suggest measures. Suggest measures to have proactive strategies. Suggest measures to have a proactive strategy suggest measures to have a proactive strategy to minimize out migration. Suggest measures to have proactive strategy to minimize out migration from border areas. From border areas. From border areas. Same 10 marks, 150 words. Okay. Okay, we'll wind up here. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay. That's it. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We just close this one. ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಲ್ಲ.